What's up, you guys? And welcome to the Moon Tribe where free minds scatter. We are continuing with our Bible studies on Genesis. Yes, guys, Bible study. We have to read our Bibles because this book controls our lives. So if it controls our lives, we have to read it then and critically analyze it. So let's get into it. Genesis, we are continuing Genesis chapter 6. I hope you have your Bibles with you, guys. That when you read it with me, you can actually see the inconsistencies. This is serious investigation. So this is after we have Cain has killed his brother Abel. We have moved on. Now we are in Noah's story. But before we get to Noah, chapter 6 will begin with, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. So was this consensual? First and foremost, I have to ask, because sons of God, we know how entitled God already is. So far from reading our Bible, we know how entitled God is. So how about his sons? And he comes and they come and take them as their wives. They took them. So were these daughters, were their consent involved? Did they consent, or was it forceful taking? And the way, and according to the way you know God, what do you guys think? So far, it's not me. I'm not telling you these things. It's the Bible which is telling you things. So far, as you know God, what taking do you think was happening here? Honestly, let's be honest with ourselves. And sons of God. So God had sons. God had sons. God could father. Well, who was his wife? Why are we not being told about God's wife? What was her name? God had sons. Inconsistencies. We need to know God's wife. We need to know the sons, their names. How many sons were they? That they came and took their wives. How many women were taken? Were they? How many? We need details. And the Lord said, clearly this made God angry. So the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. So when you go back to chapter 5, we realize that man lived for so long. We have some living for 969, that is Methuselah, 777, Lamech. We have so many living for so many years, 800 years, 600 years. And when these sons of God come and take women, the daughters of men, for themselves, I don't know, God comes and then says that his spirit shall not always strive with man. So strive with man. My old Bible uses strive. So for me, strive gives the notion of competition. Competition. That his spirit will not always strive with man. And he continues to say, for that he is also flesh. For that he also is flesh. Remember, we are made from the image of God. So if we are flesh, that is to mean that God is also made of flesh. Image of God, that is also made of flesh. So he goes on to say that his spirit will not strive with man, and he reduces his number of days from the many that he was living to 120 days. And so that makes you again wonder about the character of God. Why are you afraid of man? This is your creation. This is somebody, you created this person. Why are you afraid of this person? What has this person done to you? Is the question you people should be asking this, because this character trait gives off fearfulness. That God is fearful, because why is he afraid of man? Why does he feel the need to reduce his lifespan? And if God was angry about the fact that his sons had come and taken the daughters of men as their wives, who should he have punished? He should have punished his sons. His sons were the ones who came to earth and took the daughters of men. It is not the daughters, it's not the men's fault, it's not the human people's fault that that the daughters are beautiful. Is it now? No, it's not. It's it's the sons of God who are at fault here. So why he punishes man, again, I do not understand. By reducing the lifespan, I do not understand. Again, inconsistencies. And one other thing I also have to ask about this story is the relevance. What is the relevance of this story? What is the relevance? We always have to ask, what is the relevance? Why are you telling us about this? So your sons came and took wives for them. Do you want us to punish you now? Because we don't really know the lines. The lines are really unclear. We don't really understand the lines there. We go to verse 4, and then we are told they were giants, the Nephilim. You've heard of the Nephilim? They were giants in earth in those days. So I want to assume that those giants were the byproducts of the sons of God mating with the daughters of earth. Otherwise, why would you tell us about the giants? You know? There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of women, and they bore children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old men of renown. Okay, practically what they're telling the us, this Bible wants to hide in so many words. Why are you lying in so many words? So practically what this Bible is telling us is that the Bible is telling us that when the sons of God came unto the daughters of women, yes, they copulated with the daughters of men, and they had children. These children were giants. They were called the Nephilim. Oh my goodness, did those women survive the childbirth? Because oh my goodness, a giant. And so this story, I always ask, what is the relevance of this story? Why did they need to include this story here? Because how is it relevant? But maybe it's to tell us that they were giants. There was a time that giants existed. It's just an explanation to explain to us how giants came into being, you know? And then I also have to ask about this question. The sons of God saw the daughters of men. So where were the sons of God living? Where does God live? Because clearly God has somewhere that he's living in. And the sons of men can see the daughters of the human women. So where are they living? Another question we need to ask ourselves. So let's continue to verse 5, and says that God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. And that every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. Nah. Forgive me, I have to laugh. This is the most interesting story I've ever read. Guy. So, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented. So that in my Bible it says repented. It repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. So for me here, the Bible is to mean that God regretted, because in the other Bible, let me look at the other version. Remember, I have two versions with me. The other version says, the Lord was sorry. The Lord was sorry that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. Yeah. So let's before I continue, let's jump over that. Let's go into that. So God saw that the wickedness of man. Where did the wickedness of we were talking about the sons of God. Some few verses ago, we were talking about the sons of God taking the daughters of men as their wives and giving birth to giants. Then we have come to the wickedness of man. What has he done? Again, blame shifting. Can you people see the characters of God right now? So can you see? Doesn't take accountability for his actions. And so he saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. He should tell us what wickedness exactly. What wickedness? This God, what is wicked according to this God? Because this God has very blurry lines of wickedness. Blurry lines of wickedness. So what is wickedness according to him? Was great in the earth, and that every imagination, our thoughts, so that is the thoughts of our hearts or our minds, was only evil continually. I wonder what evil thoughts that humanity had, because guys, we already know. I think we have already established that God is very evil. He himself, he is very evil. His characteristics are evil. He is actually the devil. We have already established that. Now that we have established that, If he is the evil, if he is evil, he himself has evil deeds, he himself is jealous, any God is evil himself, then what does he expect of his creation? You have to ask yourself that. What does he expect of his creation? And then I also have to ask, what is evil according to this God? Because I know eating from the tree of good and eating from the tree of knowledge of good and bad was evil according to this God, and he was angry. So could it be that these people were trying to be free, to have knowledge? Because this God is against knowledge. So is that the wickedness? Because we are not clearly told what wickedness that these humans had done, that God was so angry that he repented. He repented. Why did he need to? Okay, he was sorry. Let me just use the new Bible. That he was sorry that he made humanity, and he even wanted. We go ahead and told that God says that he will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me, that it makes him sorry that I have made them. Now let's take a step back. The Lord says that he will destroy man, whom he has created from the face of the earth, both man and the beast, and the creeping things, and the fowls of the air, for it makes him sorry that he has made them. God is not forgiving. Do you people realize this? God is not forgiving. He does not forgive. He is very hard-hearted. He's always cringe. Why is this person so cringe? He holds grudges. Why? Because he does not even ought to do forgiveness. And something else, another character trait I get from this verse is that God is not all powerful. That is to mean he cannot change man's mind. The man is powerful. Remember when we are told when he kicks Adam and Eve out of the garden, what does he tell the angels? Man has become like us. Man has become like us, like God. And so God is very fearful of man, very first and foremost. We see this over and over and over again. Yeah? And you have to wonder why. Because you're like him. And he does not want you to discover the truth. Is what I get from this verse. And so God says he will destroy. So this guy cannot change our minds. He cannot make human beings behave better. He cannot make anything. Human beings have free will now. There's nothing that he can do to human beings. He's completely powerless. Otherwise, if he had power, he would be able to convince human beings, you're my creation, stop sinning. He would have created pure hearts if he was of pure heart. He would have created people who have no evil if he was not evil. But his creation is like him. And then he calls them out and tells them that they are evil. And he has to destroy them. And then something else that captures me in this verse is that God continues to say that he will not only destroy the man, he will also destroy the beasts. He will also destroy the creeping things and the fowls of the air. So even the birds. What have the birds done? Dear God. What have the beasts done? What have the creeping things done? These questions you need to ask about this Bible. Every time you go to church, ask your pastor. Ask your pastor why God is this vengeful. Ask your pastor, why did God have to destroy also the beast? Was the beast evil? Did beast have evil thoughts? Why does God need to destroy everything? Why not just destroy man? If man is what is pissing you off so much, why not just destroy man from the face of the earth and start over again? You have the power. After all, you're an all-powerful God. Unless you're lying to us, So we have to think about these things, guys. That's this story, because these stories we're told them, we read them in the Bible, we grow up listening to them. They become the norm, then they become the norm. We never ask questions. We're just blind. Guy, unajua, the more I talk about it, the more I see how blind people are. Because I was also blind. I was also a Christian. I was also following this doctrine without questioning what I was actually following. But I always knew there's always something wrong with this Bible, because I always ask myself, why does God seem to hate women so much? Because Mimi, created to be in service of somebody else. Are you crazy? To be created to be in service of another human being. Are you crazy? We have to ask questions like that. And so let us continue. And we are told that, but Noah This is verse 8, chapter 6, verse 8. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Why did Noah find grace in the eyes of the Lord? Why? What was so special about Noah? Ask yourself that. Noah was the only good person. Out of all those other people that existed on earth that time, Noah was the only person who was not sinning. What was good about Noah? And let's not forget that the God that we know so far, the one that we are reading about, people who are good. When he says you are good, you are sheep. When he says you're good, you are ignorant. When he says you're good, you are easily led. You are just a follower. You have no thought. That is what this God so far, when I hear he says that you're good, that is what it means. You're not thinking, you're just a following sheep, a blind bear. That is what I hear when I say that, when God says that you're good. So when Noah found favor, for me, when God found grace, it's because Noah probably was just a sheep. He was not the only one who was seeking enlightenment, probably. Because right now, for me, I interpret that wickedness, according to this God, is people who want to be free from his illusion that he's the God. People who want to look for enlightenment. People who are looking for awakening. People who want to seek knowledge. People who are eating from the tree of knowledge. Those are people that he considers wicked and evil. So clearly Noah, I would say, was some ignorant person, and that is why he finds favor. And when he finds favor, listen how the Bible tries to paint him. There are generations of Noah. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was the just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. Perfect in his generations. Where? Show me perfection in this earth today. Show me, okay, other than paintings and nature is perfection. Show me a perfect man today. Show me a perfect woman today. Show me a perfect child. Show me any person who is perfect. So we have to ask, what is perfection according to this God? What is perfection here? And Noah walked with God. Noah walked with God. How did Noah walk with God? Was it like literally walking with him, or like faithfully? This book. And so Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. It's so unfortunate you don't even get to know Noah's wife. This book, so biased. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Now, finally, they have defined the wickedness that we're talking about. God says that the earth was filled with violence. I wonder why the earth was filled with violence. I wonder why. I really wonder why the earth was filled with violence. Because clearly, if the earth was filled with violence, God, your creation, there is something you did wrong in your creation process. What is it? As a God, if your creation, as a creator, if your creation is not behaving according to the way you want it to behave, how do you do? What do you do? You question yourself. You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? As a creator. But our creator does not seem to have any accountability, responsibility, does not take accountability for his action. And so he keeps on blaming man. Because this God should have asked himself, why is there violence in these people? I created these people. If I am a peaceful, loving God, then these people should be peaceful and loving. Unless there's another character who is making them violent, and we then should go and deal with that other character, So God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. What is his way? This Bible is not clear. This Bible is not clear. What is his way? So far, we don't know what God's ways is. So far, when we judge him, or when we look at him, or when you look, not judge, let's say we observe his character, we come to realize that people who seek knowledge, people who seek enlightenment, those are his enemies. So what are his ways? How have human beings corrupted his ways? And so God goes ahead and tells Noah how he is going to destroy everybody. He's going to destroy everything, because that the earth is filled with violence through them, and I will destroy them with the earth. He will destroy everything. He will destroy everything. the man and all the beasts and everything. And this makes you wonder again, why not just destroy man? Man is the one who is violent. Man is the one who is evil, who is not righteous in your ways, that we do not know what you're talking about. So why not punish that one person, that one individual, those individuals? As a matter of fact, I believe if you looked at it whole, as a whole perspective, everybody cannot be bad. This God is biased. There's, if Noah found favor, I'm so sure some other few people would have found favor. You know, and so this story, we find the biasness here. We have to ask, so who is telling this story? Who is telling us this story? What is the purpose of them telling us this story? You know, and so God gives Noah instructions on how to build an ark, and tells Noah that there will be a flood, a very big flood. He will destroy everything, you know, and he's only gonna allow him to save himself, his family, and animals, some few animals. It's a contradiction. Now, if God was to destroy everything, why are you saving? Why are you saving again? Contradiction. So he says, he gives them instructions, tells him who to take him, and tells him, of every living thing of flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. And so Noah does according to what God tells him to do, builds the ark and takes in the animals like God told him to, sevenfold. They were so instruction. Like there were some who was supposed to take it was supposed to male and female, first and foremost. Yes, 7. They were supposed to be in 7. So second in 7. Some beasts he was supposed to take, clean beasts he was supposed to take in 7s. Of the fowls he was supposed to take in 7s. But there are some things that he was only supposed to take in 2s. You know, 2 but 7 7 7 7. I mean 7 of them, but like in pairs, so like 14. That was a very big ark, by the way. Now that I'm thinking about it, the biggest ark ever. What? And so guys, that is how God causes it to flood, and he destroys humanity and everything that is there. And that is the story of Noah. And this story of Noah here, the introduction story of Noah here, those are the questions I have, guys. Those are the inconsistencies I see, that God decides to destroy earth, the whole of earth, even things that were innocent, that had done nothing wrong. But then he reconsiders again and be like, let me just save them. Tell Noah to take them, because there's no need for me to destroy everything. Let me just take them so that they can copulate. So does this mean that God was tired of creating, or could he not create new people again? Because why does he need them to populate themselves again? Why not even destroy Noah? If you're so tired of this population, why not even destroy Noah? Destroy even Noah and start all over again. I mean, you're the all supreme creator. All you do is create. So create a new, fresh, entire being who you want to behave in like good manners, according to you. You could always start over. And that is the question I ask. Why does God not start over? When he decides to start over, it's a great flood. And when you research, you find that actually there was a great flood that happened on earth. According to history books, if you research history, a great flood did happen. Actually, it did happen. It is something that happened in reality, truth. But I don't believe God caused it. If this biblical God caused it, there's a probability, by the way, that this biblical God caused it, because this person is very malicious. Very, very malicious. Very, very unforgiving. Those are the character traits we get from reading this story. God is very unforgiving, always holding grudges. He's not all-knowing, as he claims to be, because clearly we see he does not know some things. He did not know that his creation was gonna be violent. He did not know that Cain was gonna kill Abel. He did not know that Adam and Eve were gonna eat from the tree of knowledge. He did not know so many things. So he is not all knowing. We get the character that he is not all powerful again. because he's unable to change man's mind. He's unable to make man better because he cannot change man. So I mean, he's not all powerful. Not all powerful. It's a lie. That man is his own sovereign being, that he does not even need to worship this God, because this God is fearful. He fears man, as a matter of fact. If you actually read the Bible, very fearful of man. And you have to ask yourself, why does God fear us? What is the need for God to fear us, honestly? What could we do if he is our all supreme creator? What could we do? We are just like mere humans that he created, you know? And so for me, that story of Noah finding favor with God, honestly, we have to ask ourselves these questions. What is favor according to this God? Because clearly we know the characters of God. Favor to him must mean something sinister. And I'm not trying to make this person bad. I'm just showing you what it actually is there. We are reading our Bible critically. Remember, this is Bible study, guys. So we're just reading our Bible critically. Critically analyzing it. And when we critically analyze, these are the things that we find. So when you critically analyze your Bible, the story of Noah, what do you read? What do you find? What characters do you get? Tell me in the comments below, guys. And as usual, I appreciate the love and the support. Share this video as widely as possible, and see you in the next series of Bible study. I don't know if I will continue with the Genesis story. We might, if I find more stories that are interesting to talk about there. I will continue definitely with the Bible study, guys. We will definitely. And as usual, subscribe to my channel to help us grow the Moon Tribe, to support our cause, to free as many minds and spirits as possible. Because yes, guys, the battle is real. The battle for our souls is real. It is real. It is super real. And so we have to try and free as many minds and souls as possible, because we want to ascend, as many of us. We want to get out of this prison we are in. Nobody wants to be in a prison. So unless you have Stockholm syndrome, there's something wrong with you. Or you just love being a slave, or you just love being, I don't know. I don't know. People have different fetishes out here. So whatever, guys. Join us to support our our cause, and to grow our channel, guys. And as usual, have a lovely day. Bye bye.